today here I have with me Shelby. She's going to tell us a little bit about her journey and how it was for her competing. Without further ado, Shelby, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, I'm Shelby. I am a new mom. I have a 5-month-old little boy. Um, it's been absolutely crazy. I'm also a graduate student. I have
Oh,
my degree
nice.
in public health and a minor in holistic health, on top of being a competitor and a wife and all of those things.
Yes, you are truly a beauty in beast mode because you are handling all of that and you look great doing it. So,
Thank you. I
yeah.
try.
One of the things I want to know is what inspired you to start doing shows?
I started getting into fitness when I was at home in the summer from school before I had my license, and I was working out from home on YouTube, and I saw someone on YouTube posting about prep, and I started watching all of this girl's videos, and I was like, what? What is this bikini stuff? Like the sparkly
Yeah.
bikinis and the cardio and prep and all these things, and I thought it was so interesting. So after watching all of these YouTube videos, I really started learning about the sport of competing and bodybuilding. And it was
Yeah.
just like, I discovered bodybuilding.com for the first time. And I was stuck at home. I didn't have my license. So I
YouTube
just,
will have you going in a
yeah,
spiral. So I'm glad
exactly.
you stumbled upon that because my next question was, what show did you did and how long did it take you to prep for it?
The show that I actually discovered you guys at was
Yep.
the Max Fit Classic in
Yeah.
Florida, and I'm from New Jersey, so I saw this show just online, and I asked my mom if she wanted to go to Florida with me for a weekend to do
Oh,
to
so you
do a
weren't
show.
even like in Florida at the time. Like you came
No, we
just for
we
the
flew
show.
to Florida for the show. We decided to have a little bit of a girls' weekend.
Yeah.
And it was super fun. So I decided to do that show just to, get out of New Jersey and kind of see how the NPC was run in different parts of the country, just because I was used to competing in New Jersey and Pennsylvania, where I'm from. And
Yeah.
so I,
Okay.
I
How
decided
long
on
did
the
it take
Max
you
Fit
to prep for
Classic.
the show in Fort Walton?
I started prep probably in February, and then the show was in August. So
Okay.
it was a few months, but I like to do a very slow and steady prep just
Good.
to
I can't do it. I'm like 8 weeks. Let's go bang it out. It's so hard to do long preps.
yeah, I've always done a very long prep for the 2.5, 3 years that I've competed. I've just preferred
Yeah.
a longer prep because I think I'm just very anxious in my nature, that I feel like I need all of the time, and then I'm like, oh my
Okay.
God, I'm not
Yeah. You
ready. I
feel
need to
like,
do
and that's
this and
something
that.
I wanted to ask you. Like, when you first started your prep, were you like super dedicated, or were you like, all right, it's week 4, I need to get serious, or as soon as you jumped in, you're like, all right, 2 a days, I'm going to work out, I'm going to
Yeah,
eat healthy.
I think I've always been very serious. Of course, I have like days where I'm more lax on everything, but I think it's just part of the lifestyle, at least for me, that I was so, I think, dedicated to the lifestyle. And I was always so excited to start prep that it was like,
Yep.
whatever day I decided to start prep, it's like nothing really.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was an advantage of doing a longer prep, is that you have more time and you can take things a little bit slower, that it's not like this big day one of prep and your whole life kind of changes, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
I think for some people, they have to understand you have to mentally be prepared to do the shows, because if you're not, you're going to fall off your meal plan. You're not going to do your workout. So that's a big
Yeah.
part of it. So as long as you're ready in your mind and you let your family and friends know too, because they're going to be like, let's go out to eat. Let's do this. So.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I'm sorry. This lighting is so terrible. I can't figure out where to get myself in the light. Okay, that's a little better.
You look good. I love your hair
Th-
too.
Thank you. I know, I'm too busy staring at your abs in the background. I'm like, geez.
One of the things I want to know is like, when you were getting ready to do your very first show, like, and now as you continue to compete, what is something that you find challenging? Is it like finding new ways to eat or workouts? Like, what's something that you find challenging to prep for your shows?
I I think the most challenging thing for me is just kind of trusting the process. I think it's very easy to get
Mm-hmm.
wrapped up in comparing yourself, especially with social media. It is just you're
Mm-hmm. Oh
constantly
yeah.
comparing yourself to other people, and it's like, they always say you can't compare your day one to someone's day 1,000, but it's
Yeah.
so much easier said than done. And I think it's hard also when you're looking at yourself every single day and you're not necessarily seeing the changes
That's why I take
versus,
pictures because I
yeah,
those help
exactly.
me see the changes.
Exactly. That's the biggest thing is kind of not getting in your head and
Yeah.
trusting the process and trusting your coach because
And
you're
that's what
you're
I was gonna bring up. I'm glad you said that. Like, do you recommend having a coach for your shows?
definitely. I did my first show, the first show I ever did, I did not have a coach. I prepped myself completely. And that was
Yeah,
part of my whole YouTube learning experience because I wanted to see what I could do personally and
of
what
course,
I
because it's
could,
expensive.
yeah, that, and I mean, I knew there was coaches, but I didn't know how to find a coach. I didn't know what that meant or anything. So I decided to do it myself. And that was a great learning lesson for me because I got to look at myself more objectively and I learned how to take emotion out of looking at myself in the mirror. And I knew when it was time
Oh
to pull
yeah.
food away and do more cardio, but not run myself into the ground. And then after that show, I was like, this is just too stressful. I need to hire somebody. I don't want to think about it. I need someone to tell me
Yeah,
what to eat, how much to, go
exactly. And
run
I
on the treadmill,
coach, I
whatever.
definitely recommend people finding someone that they can trust, and even just interviewing people to see if you
Yeah.
vibe with that person. Because if you don't, it's gonna be a horrible prep. You want somebody you can be like, "Hey, coach, I'm about to go out to eat. Can I have this?" Just those
Yeah,
little things that matter when you're getting ready to do a show. And one of the things I want to ask
exactly.
you about is like body dysmorphia. I know for me, after shows, you gain like 10 to 15 pounds. Did you ever go through that after a show, feeling like, oh my God, I'm not my best, or
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
trying to,
I think it's really hard post
yeah.
show. It is, and I know it's like you have like your big meal after the show and everything, but when it comes down to the week after, it's like you're still in you're still in prep pretty much. And it's like, and especially if it's a
Hmm.
lifestyle for
It
you
is.
as it is for me, it's you don't want to just kind of ruin all of that progress. And
Yeah.
yeah, food is great, but I always tell myself at the end of the day, food is always going to be there. It's a
Yep.
blessing to
It's
have
not
enough
going
and to have enough food on
anywhere.
the table, every day. That it's like
Yep.
food is not going anywhere. We're not, you know,
Like you never really felt like the whole body dysmorphia because you've maintained fitness after the shows and it's a lifestyle for you, right?
yeah, and I mean, even though I did stick to my meal plans all the time after prep, I would have an occasional cheat here or there, but there were times that my body just did not respond well in the post show period that I did kind of like blow up. And
Yeah.
it looked like I gained 30 pounds, and it was, water, weight, and that was really,
Yeah. Salt
hard for me.
retention.
It was hard, and I think that's also positive of having a coach in that period too, is to have
Yeah.
someone to say, hey, you didn't just get, gain all this weight overnight. Like, you're okay, it's not the end of the world, and we're gonna fix it.
Yeah, to keep you on track. And so finding that
Yeah.
person that you can connect with is super important.
Yeah.
Now I want to kind of go into when you're at the show, you've done all of your prep. If you can kind of walk us through your very first show, like how did you feel? You've done the 20-week prep plus you're on the stage. Like how was that to actually get on stage?
I feel like it's one of those moments that you just black out before it happens, that you're backstage and you're ready to go, and it's a mix of like nerves, but you're so excited, and it's it's such an amazing experience. And I think that
Oh
the backstage experience is something that everyone should experience at least once in their life. Like, the whole process of competing
yeah.
is great, but backstage, when it's like all of your hard work is paying off and you get
Yeah.
to, get glammed up and get
Oh,
like a
that's my
tan,
favorite
and
part.
I
I
know
love
it's so
it.
fun. And then you do get to have like some fun foods on show day,
Yeah,
definitely to
because some
kind
of
of
the
pump up.
promoters, they'll bring like cupcakes or like cookies in the back for
Yeah.
you. So that's super nice.
Yeah, that's what
Well,
it's so fun, and you get to meet so many people that went through the same.
yes.
So yeah, they go through the same things that you're going through, especially if you know don't have like a big competing community around you, like in your
Yep.
gym or whatever.
And the
It's so
girls you
nice.
tend to meet there, you become friends with them. You're like, are you going to this show? I'll meet you at this
Yeah,
show. And it's like a lifetime friendship. So I love it.
yeah. Well,
One of the
that and
things
like
when you were backstage, were the ladies, like, how were they? Because I know for me, my first show, they were very mean. And it was an NPC
yeah.
show. So I don't know how the experience it was for you when you did.
That's I feel like there's always kind of like one or two like odd experiences that we all have. Because I
Yeah.
definitely have experienced that. But I mean, my favorite show is the Florida show that I did, the Max Fit Classic, and
Yeah.
it was such a great experience, mainly because of the people backstage, and especially not being
Good.
from the state and traveling, to the opposite coast, if you want to say. Um, Everyone was so welcoming. Everyone thought my accent was funny because I'm from New Jersey.
Yeah.
But I mean, everyone was just so sweet and like, you know,
Good.
I made so many friends, and I still talk to so many girls that I met in Florida.
And
One of my
we're one
friends,
of those two that met.
yeah, exactly. That's it.
So
One of my friends, she's competing today actually in Florida,
nice.
and it's just so special, the relationships that you make at the shows. And then
Yep.
when you do travel to shows like nationals or different states,
Oh yeah.
you start seeing the same people, and you do form some really great
Yeah,
friendships
they're like, let's go out to
too.
eat afterwards. Like a group
It
of us are planning to go
Yeah.
to Olympia, so I'll definitely loop you in if you want to come down to
Oh,
Florida and
that'd be
hang out.
awesome.
So
Yeah.
after the show, you've done the stage, done your posing. It's time for like placings. Did you get the placing you wanted in your first show compared to the most recent show?
My first show, I went in with absolutely no expectations. I didn't know that posing coaches existed, so I didn't
Yeah.
have one. So YouTube again, I taught myself how to pose, and oh my goodness, was that a hot mess. I I was doing the front pose with where your hips are straight on, but then you kind of
Oh
angle them
yeah,
back
I think a lot of
down.
people do that first
That
show.
well, it was kind of phased out maybe 10 years ago, and YouTube, I guess, wasn't caught up on that yet.
Yeah.
So I went in there with absolutely no expectations, and I didn't place, but it was one of those moments where I was so proud of myself for just getting up
Yeah.
there and doing it. Thank you.
Because
Well,
it takes a lot to even
it
just get up
does.
there in a bikini and just
Well,
be like, I'm
you're
here.
basically in your
So
underwear in front of
yeah.
a bunch of people you don't know, getting judged on how you look, and
Yep.
not a lot of
So
people
kudos
can
to
do
you.
that. Thank you. Well, and then my most recent show, I placed third in the open, and then
Okay.
I did, I think, junior as well. And not, I forget what I placed in that, but I was really proud of myself for placing
Yeah.
third in the open. I was already nationally qualified before the Max Fit Classic in Florida,
Yep.
but I still wanted to go anyway, just to have the show experience. And who doesn't love a good
The competing
vacation?
is addicting sometimes because you're like,
It
I'm all
is.
glammed up, I look good, you're meeting new
It is.
people. And then, like, what's your competition? The first one, do you remember how many girls were in your class?
There There were probably like 10 to 15, 10
Okay,
maybe.
because my class, it was like 25. It was
That's
stacked.
crazy. That's but that's the thing too. I love a stacked class too, because
Yeah.
it's just competition, and it's like I love it, and that it just makes you want to, I think, do more and be that much better.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It definitely
And
motivates you. But I was in
exactly.
Maryland, well, I can't say the word, but MD, Virginia, and
Yeah.
it's a bigger city, so it's more people. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it was
Exactly.
stacked.
Yeah.
So one of the things for your prep, you had your first show, you did a couple recently. For the one you said Junior USA's, right? That you did, and you placed like top 3, top 5 up there.
I've never been to nationals.
Okay.
No.
Okay. So the last show, what do you plan to do different for your next show? Because you are doing another one, right?
Yeah, yeah, I'm going to as soon as I kind of get the not the okay, but when I feel kind of back in my body from,
Right.
having a baby.
Yep.
Um, I don't know what I think I'm gonna do differently. I think before my prep was a little bit unhealthy in a
Hmm.
way that I was just so dedicated to the sport and prepping that I forgot to have a life outside of that. That I woke up and it was like gym and things were blocked out by the 15-minute increment,
Yep.
and my life was just about prep, which is great, but I think
Hmm.
I missed out on a lot of moments with my family and my friends where instead of like bringing my meals places, I just wouldn't go and I would
Yeah.
kind of seclude myself. So I think now, especially having a family of my own, I would want to include myself more with
So
my
finding that
family.
balance between prepping and
Yeah,
family and friends is something that you want to work towards for your next show. And I think that's very important because you can't be like, well, I'm stopping my life for like 3 months, y'all. You
exactly.
gotta, like I said, that mental aspect too. Like if you're going out with your friends and they're eating, bring your own meals, but you're still there to
Exactly.
enjoy the moment. And so I'm glad that you brought that up. Now I do want to ask. Now after this last show, what was your go-to meal? Like, what were you craving and what did you have?
I'm so excited to answer this question. So, in New Jersey, we do not have Waffle House.
Oh, that
So,
is right. Up north, they don't have
so,
that.
so driving, I've driven to Florida before, and I know they have Waffle Houses.
Like on
So,
every corner.
yeah.
Yeah.
So then I flew into Pensacola. So the drive from Pensacola to Fort Walton was about an hour.
Yeah.
That hour drive was filled with Waffle Houses and Mom, what was it? Whataburger? Is that
What?
what that's
Oh,
the
yeah.
thing?
They have those huge
It
burgers.
was
Oh my
all
goodness.
Whataburgers and Waffle Houses, and I'm sitting there eating egg whites that I had to pack on a plane with me, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I cannot wait to go to the Waffle House.
Yeah, Waffle House is
So
good. I don't think I can like eat it now, but like as a cheat meal,
yeah,
definitely it's
that's
good.
that's where we went. We went to the Waffle House at midnight,
Yeah. Oh yeah, they
and
open 24/7. That's the only place open here
yeah,
after hours. Everything else is
okay.
closed.
So
But I wanted to
that
say thank you for sharing your experience with us. Can you provide your Instagram or where they can get in contact with you about the services that you offer?
Of course, my Instagram is Shelby G Fitness, no spaces or anything, just Shelby G Fitness. And I am a personal trainer. I do online coaching and whatnot.
Okay. Awesome. Well, we'll definitely be able to post those links for you all down below so you can get in contact with her and find out how she's doing after having the baby and looking so great. Maybe you can reach out to her for some tips to see what she does. But until then, you all will see you next time.